After losing his memory, Logan forgot I was his trophy mistress. He transferred a breakup settlement and told me to get lost. I happily skipped away, rubbing my baby bump. Money, a high-quality offspring, and no more catering to a man's whims? Life couldn't get sweeter. But my bliss was short-lived. During prenatal checkups, I kept bumping into Logan at the hospital. Once, twice, thrice. Each encounter made his gaze linger darker, fearing he'd regain memories. I considered fleeing abroad. He suddenly strode toward me after our latest coincidental meeting, the first time he'd spoken since the accident. Any man who skips his wife's prenatal appointments isn't worth keeping, he declared, eyes locked on my belly. But children shouldn't grow up fatherless. Leaning closer, he murmured, "Let me rephrase, I'm utterly smitten with you." His knuckles whitened around the ultrasound photo he'd accidentally picked up. Would it be terribly forward to apply for this position? Chapter 1. I was Logan's kept woman, pretty, obedient, and exceptionally compatible between the sheets. That's why this famously celibate tycoon shocked everyone by keeping me for 3 years. Just as rumors swirled about him catching feelings, his car crashed, and he forgot only me. That bastard! Did he fake amnesia to dodge paying alimony? Will's voice crackled through my phone, delivering the post-amnesia verdict, MS. Stone, the current Mr. Harper, finds his past self keeping a mistress incomprehensible. He denies any affection and demands your immediate evacuation from the Seaview Bay Villa, my home of 3 years. Where sunflower fields I planted framed the pool, where pink lace curtains I'd hung still fluttered. My throat tightened. However, Will continued, considering your service duration, Mr. Harper is offering severance pay plus a 4th Ring Road apartment. The condition. My bank pinged. 7 figures. Grief evaporated. Fireworks of joy popped behind my eyelids. I'll vacate tonight, I chirped, already mentally spending my windfall. No more midnight snack cravings from an insatiable man. Just me, my fortune, and this premium genetic souvenir growing in my womb. Jackpot. Oh right, the baby. I'd discovered it weeks ago. During pillow talk, I'd probed Logan's stance on parenthood. Children? He'd scoffed, tracing my collarbone. I'd rather invest in another yacht. His loss. This little voyager inherited his bone structure and my survival instincts. We'd be just fine. I don't like them. They're noisy and annoying. Logan scrutinized me before furrowing his brows. Do you want a child? His expression turned deadly serious, as though he'd kick me out the moment I said yes. How could I possibly tell him about the pregnancy now? I shook my head vehemently. No way. I absolutely can't stand kids. Besides, I gestured between us. This kind of relationship doesn't exactly warrant having children. No commitments. No strings attached. My answer should have perfectly aligned with his notorious aversion to emotional entanglements. Yet the man suddenly morphed into a provoked viper. What exactly is this kind of relationship? He hissed, pinning me against the wall. You don't want to have my child? His dramatic misinterpretation made me secretly flash a gesture indicating disbelief behind his back. Not that it mattered. The lunatic promptly threw me onto the bed anyway. Miraculously, the baby survived his father's enthusiasm that night. This tiny fighter's resilience steeled my resolve to keep it. So when Logan later lost his memories and told me to get lost, I grabbed the severance check and sprinted to Will's office that very afternoon to finalize the penthouse transfer. By midnight, I'd moved into my new luxury nest, embracing the ultimate expectant mom lifestyle. Mornings meant strolls in Central Park and testing gourmet recipes. Afternoons were for freelance digital art commissions. Evenings brought literary classics, jazz playlists, and freely liking every attractive person on TikTok, a freedom I'd never known as Logan's kept woman. Back then, He'd threatened to punish me with long nights in the bedroom for every attractive guy I followed. Don't get me wrong, the sex was great. But my lower back still aches at the memory. Now, I proudly develop crushes on new attractive people daily. Each swipe bringing in a new most beautiful person alive. Blissful weeks blurred until the first ultrasound appointment. Giddy excitement over seeing my tiny baby made me ignore the flicker of unease in my gut. I never expected to encounter Logan at that Upper East Side maternity clinic. There he stood in the hospital atrium, bandaged head, blue-striped patient gown, formerly thick hair cut short that only accentuated his sharp bone structure. When his gaze swept across the crowd, I ducked behind a potted fern, feeling nervous under his intense look. My heart sank as I cursed internally. He was Logan, the crown prince of East Coast aristocracy. After a car accident, he should have been treated at a private hospital or at least a top-tier public facility. Why on earth would they bring him to this ordinary fourth-ring community hospital? While I was fuming, the intense gaze above me shifted away. I peeked up cautiously, only to see Logan's retreating figure disappearing into the crowd. Clutching my chest, I exhaled shakily. It's fine. Everything's fine. He lost his memory and forgot about me completely. To him now, I'm just another stranger. Walking toward the maternity ward in 2025, I found the clinic surprisingly quiet. The check-in and wait time flew by. When the ultrasound technician handed me the grainy image showing my healthy baby, tears pricked my eyes. This tiny miracle had become my lifeline after losing my family, living proof that love could still take root in this broken world. I was mentally planning how to preserve this first photograph of my child, laminate it. Find the perfect frame when a rushing figure collided with me. My stomach dropped as I teetered sideways, only to be steadied by a strong arm that caught my waist with military precision before instantly withdrawing. The careless jogger threw a half-hearted apology over his shoulder while I scrambled to retrieve the fallen ultrasound image. Brushing dust off the precious print, I turned to thank my rescuer and froze. Logan stood scrutinizing the sonogram in my hand, his sculpted features hardening from Arctic frost to glacial mountain range. My throat closed as panic surged. Would he remember? Demand an abortion? Take my child and vanish me? The baby isn't yours. I blurted like an idiot. The words hung between us. He'd lost his memory, and here I was practically confessing. Forcing a laugh, I backpedaled wildly. Haha. Just kidding. My smile strained against the crushing silence. Handsome. Thank you. My husband just stepped out, and you caught me in time. I wouldn't know how to face him otherwise. This baby is the heir our Oldwell family has been praying for all these years. The more I rambled on, the smoother the lies rolled off my tongue. Logan's face turned stormier by the second. Eventually, he couldn't stand my endless chatter about the Harper family legacy. Without a word, he turned and stalked away. Holy crap. That was terrifying. I need to switch hospitals for my next prenatal checkup. Clutching my chest, I watched his retreating figure disappear around the corner. The following days passed in nervous anticipation at home. Only Will called once to ask if I still wanted the pink teddy bear in the bedroom. When no other messages from Logan came, I finally relaxed into my peaceful pregnancy routine. Soon, my next appointment arrived. I deliberately chose the most prestigious hospital downtown, thinking smugly, surely Logan wouldn't transfer from that fourth-ring hospital to this one? Famous last words. The hospital lobby froze me in my tracks. There he stood, Logan, his sharp gaze instantly locking onto me. Brows furrowing. He probably wondered why I'd switched hospitals last minute. Prenatal patients don't usually change care providers. What rotten luck. Had I known he'd be here? His stare grew too intense to ignore. I waved awkwardly. Fancy meeting you here. Here for your prenatal checkup, I mean. Follow-up appointment? Amnesiac Logan proved ruder than ever. He gave me the iciest glare before turning away like I was a stranger. Back when I was his kept woman, he'd always stop to ruffle my hair or steal kisses during chance encounters. Now, Pfft. I stuck out my tongue at his retreating back before darting to obstetrics. The ultrasound went smoothly, cradling my baby's second-ever photo. I settled on a bench to admire the tiny miracle. My little peanut remained barely bigger than a bean, but I couldn't tear my eyes away. Until someone collapsed dramatically at my feet with a thud. I shot up in alarm. "Sir? Are you?" The words died as I rolled the man over. Logan's flawless features stared back, a nasty bruise blooming on his temple. Unbelievable. Did this man have a homing beacon on me? Still, I couldn't abandon an injured person. Sighing, I crouched to check his pulse. Taking a deep breath, I scanned my surroundings and called for help. Together with a nurse, we rushed him to the emergency room. After slipping out of ER, I resolved to switch hospitals next time. Surely we wouldn't cross paths again? And if we did, Pa. I refused to be that unlucky. Muttering to myself, I headed toward the parking lot. But before reaching the exit, I froze. There in the lobby stood William Carter, locking eyes with me. Remembering my previous promises, I immediately raised 2 fingers. "I swear I'm not stalking Mr. Harper. I came for a cold, not to ambush him." William remained silent for an uncomfortably long moment before sighing. "Mr. Harper's hospital visit today was impromptu. I know you're not that type." His expression shifted. "Still, thank you for saving him earlier." Relief washed over me. Anyone would have done the same in a hospital. Not waiting for further conversation, I turned to leave. "Miss Stone." William's hesitant voice stopped me. "Perhaps you should meet with Mr. Harper? He might remember your past if—" "Absolutely not." I cut him off. We'd already met multiple times since the accident. Useless. Logan Harper had truly erased me from his memory. Besides, appearing before him while pregnant? That'd be suicidal. If he regained memories and rejected our baby, no amount of Juliet-style weeping would help. "Your boss explicitly banned me from his sight," I reminded firmly. "Don't jeopardize your career over whatever this is." Translation: keep my existence secret. That evening, I contacted a realtor. Better safe than sorry. Running into amnesiac Logan during checkups was manageable. But William discovering my pregnancy? Catastrophic. He'd report to Logan instantly. Pre-amnesia Logan disliked children. Post-amnesia? Our baby's survival odds plummeted to 0.1%. Though reluctant to leave my hometown, I'd move somewhere Harper-free. Change hospitals too. This time, no more coincidences. 3rd prenatal appointment. Damn it. There stood Logan Harper in the outpatient lobby, dressed in a bespoke suit. Standing at the entrance like he was about to attend a billion-dollar deal meeting. The shaved patch from his injury had grown into ear-length strands, restoring his polished tycoon appearance completely. His aura was colder than before, like millennial-old snow and eternal ice. His eyes were as inscrutable as a dark abyss, locked intently on me. Standing a short distance away, I couldn't bring myself to approach. Mentally cursing my misfortune, I contemplated fleeing abroad. Overseas. Even if he regained his memories, tracking me down would prove difficult. The more I considered it, the more plausible it seemed. Though exile would be bitter, it'd be worthwhile for my baby's sake. If homesickness struck, I could always return after the child grew older. Having resolved this, relief washed over me. Meeting Logan's gaze no longer terrified me. I even managed a tentative smile. He drew a sharp breath and strode toward me. After multiple chance encounters, he finally spoke. "Any man who skips his wife's prenatal appointments isn't worth keeping. But children need paternal presence. What I mean is, I've fallen for you at first sight. May I be blunt? Could I become your child's father?" I blinked, certain I'd misheard. Logan lowered his gaze. his aloofness tinged with bashfulness. Ms. Lily. I'd gladly raise another's child as my own. I'll cherish them completely. My stunned silence spoke volumes. This sudden madness from Logan, who'd previously declared his dislike for children, made twisted sense. So he didn't want biological offspring but relished playing stepfather? Ridiculous! I rolled my eyes dramatically. My baby already has a father. Why would we need you? His composure flickered before hardening with resolve. What kind of father neglects prenatal appointments? I could do better. Prove it. Transfer $50K to show your commitment. Logan bowed his head. A notification chimed, $100. 000 deposited. He gazed at me earnestly. My wealth makes me ideal as your husband and your child's parent. Speechless. I stared at my banking app when a bewildered gasp interrupted us. William gaped at our scene. What kind of role play is this? I deadpanned, not playing. Your boss here is morally bankrupt. Insisting on being my side piece. After switching hospitals 3 times for prenatal checkups. I kept running into Logan every single time. When coincidences stack up this ridiculously, you stop fighting fate. I surrendered completely, agreeing to return home with Logan and give him this chance to be the other man. Will gripped the steering wheel, asking tentatively, back to Shunjing Bay? Obviously. I answered without hesitation. Absolutely not. Logan protested immediately. I arched an eyebrow. Why? You hiding another woman there? The color drained from Logan's face. After an eternity of silence, he mumbled, There, shouldn't be? Shouldn't be? I scoffed. Listen to this garbage coming out of your mouth. Logan's voice grew smaller. I had this accident recently. Lost some memories. Will says I used to have a girlfriend, but I swear I don't remember her at all. 0 feelings. Already sent her away anyway. He reached for my hand, eyes painfully earnest. You're the one I want. From the moment I saw you, I knew we were meant to be together. My expression froze. So he'd forgotten me completely. Beside us, Will, the Ivy League-educated executive assistant, was having a full-blown existential crisis. He kept shooting desperate glances between us, frantically signaling Logan, who remained obliviously sincere. I could never remember her. Logan declared passionately. You're my true love. I don't care that you're married or carrying another man's child. Marry me. Wait, when are you divorcing that ex-husband anyway? The Mercedes swerved violently as Will lost control. I glared daggers at Logan. That depends on your performance. Forget remembering me, this idiot actually wants to be my side piece. Logan. You absolute train wreck. At the mansion, I pulled Will aside and texted act like we've never met. Not one word about me being his kept woman. Will shot Logan a pitying look, nodded frantically, and practically fled with sweat soaking through his Armani shirt. I strutted through the marble foyer like I owned the place. Emily nearly dropped her gardening shears when she saw me in the courtyard. She glanced nervously at Logan before whispering, Ms. Stone. You and Mr. Harper made up? I nodded conspiratorially. He's got post-accident memory issues. Thinks I'm someone's wife. We're just playing along, you know how young couples are with their games these days. Emily's eyes lit up with recognition. Oh, you mean like that role-play stuff the kids do? Exactly. I grinned, turning to watch clueless Logan fumble with the smart home system. My smile turned razor-sharp. This would be fun. I went straight to the second-floor bedroom and changed into a nightgown. When I stepped out, Logan stood at the doorway. He looked up, his eyes briefly brightening. That dress looks stunning. The clothes I ordered for you arrived faster than I expected. I twirled the skirt and smirked. It belonged to your former mistress. Of course it's pretty. Logan's already icy expression froze completely. I glared. Got a problem with me wearing it? He shook his head hurriedly. No. I closed the distance and kissed his lips, holding his gaze with a playful smile. Good. Aren't you trying to be my husband? Why so shy now? His ears flushed red as he turned away, eyelids fluttering. That should wait until after your divorce. My slender finger traced his Adam's apple. You know pregnant women have stronger needs. If you can't handle it, I'll just go back to old Will. Before I could finish, Logan scooped me up with darkened eyes and carried me to the bed layered with silk sheets. His kisses were urgent yet restrained, eyes clouded with guilt and conflict, but he never paused. I'd only meant to tease him, but pregnancy hormones left me defenseless. Dazed by his kisses, I forgot to push him away. He moved carefully, mindful of my belly, agonizingly slow and drawn out until I squirmed, flushed and pleading. Who are you begging? He murmured against my fingertips. Frustrated by the torment, I slapped his shoulder. He quickened his pace, eyes burning crimson. Say it. Husband? Logan froze, then bit my finger sharply. Don't think about him now. You're divorcing him anyway. Post-amnesia Logan burned hotter than a wildfire. I shut my eyes, torn between bliss and hysterical laughter. The next morning, I woke late to find Logan quietly directing staff to empty my walk-in closet. I glared. What are you doing? He maintained his ice prince demeanor. Making space for your actual taste in clothes. We'll remove these lace decorations too, replace them with whatever you like. And that sunflower garden? I'll have it dug up for your preferred flowers. I nearly exploded into orbit, ready to detonate him on the spot. These are all the things I love. I put so much effort into decorating. After losing his memory, he wants to tear everything down for some woman he barely knows. Extreme anger really does make you laugh hysterically. How could we? Aren't these all the decorations you loved? Logan answers without thinking. No. I never Lee. My gaze turns dangerous. Oh. So it was your former mistress who liked these. Though Logan acts aloof in public, he knows when to backtrack. He quickly shakes his head. No, no, no. I love them. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. I fish out a black suit with lace trim from the walk-in closet and toss it to him. Darling, I knew you'd love this. Put it on for work. Not really. I should dress more professionally. What's unprofessional about lace accents on a black suit? Logan's face freezes as he reluctantly takes the outfit. Back when I decorated the house, he always hated my style. I had to exhaust myself all night just to keep these lace curtains. Now his amnesiac self thinks he can redecorate for his new flame? Dream on. He's wearing lace-trimmed suits now. At breakfast, I slowly sip the nourishing porridge Emily made me. Logan keeps fidgeting with his lace cuffs. His icy demeanor cracks as he whispers, "Do I really have to wear this?" I swallow my mouthful before answering leisurely, "Not if you don't want to." I was going to discuss divorce proceedings with Old Will today, but suddenly I'm not in the mood anymore. No, no. I'll wear it. Let me come negotiate the divorce with you. Eager to become the official husband. Logan immediately stops fussing with his sleeves. I glare at him. How shameless. Flaunting your homewrecker status like this? Where's your dignity? The intimidating snow lion instantly shrinks into a quail. He mutters defensively, I just met you later than him. Why is that my fault? Should I blame my dear Old Will instead? I can't stand his morally bankrupt arguments from that pristine face. Maybe compensate him more? My eyes light up as I cough lightly. We should definitely increase the settlement. My Old Will adores me. That afternoon, Old Will himself, Will, wires an astronomical sum to my account. Will calls me, voice dripping with sarcasm, Ms. Stone. When Mr. Harper regains his memory, he'll take it out on me instead of you. If he fires you, Just sell his embarrassing moments to his competitors. Will instantly perks up, genius idea. I added another layer of insurance with Will. Besides, this is just some role-playing game between me and your Logan. It has nothing to do with you. The assistant. Having Will on my side worked wonders. I received the alert the moment Logan left the office. In the cafe, I urgently ordered another coffee. Soon enough, I spotted a familiar figure skulking in the corner. No wonder he'd been acting squirrely when asking for the meeting address this morning. When I saw him leave for work earlier, I thought he might bail. Fortunately, my hired actor Old Will arrived right on time. The man delivered an Oscar-worthy performance, dramatically pounding his chest. Where's that homewrecker? How dare he seduce you into wanting a divorce? The actual homewrecker sat rigidly behind Old Will, listening intently for the reason. He's handsome. And rich. Logan's lips curved in a smug smile behind Old Will's back. I couldn't let him enjoy this. Grabbing Old Will's sleeve, I improvised, honey. I still have feelings for you. What if I steal his money to support us? Old Will recovered brilliantly. Sounds perfect. He beamed. From my peripheral vision, I caught the unapproachable Ice Prince's eyes turning suspiciously red. I smirked. My disappearance wasn't just about fearing Logan would make me terminate the pregnancy. Even if I insisted on keeping the baby, he wouldn't truly harm me. The real reason I left? Logan didn't love me enough. I'd met Logan at the worst possible time. My father's business had collapsed, leaving massive debts. His terminal diagnosis came soon after, followed by swift death. Suddenly I faced debt collectors hounding me and employees demanding back pay. Selling every property and jewel still left me $800K short. That's how I became indebted to Logan. Job hunting proved brutal. $5K was standard. $3,000 was exploitative. I landed somewhere between exploitation and standard $4K monthly. Barely enough to survive. Desperate, I begged Logan for employment ID repay through wages while he covered basic living expenses. I'll never forget his icy once-over before he snorted in disbelief. He gestured at Will. He's a finance graduate from University of Chicago with an annual $200K salary. If you had his credentials, you might clear the debt in 5 years. So Lily, what's your degree? My 2011 University Digital Media Arts diploma might as well have crumbled to dust. Logan left with a derisive chuckle. I thought it was hopeless. Yet that very night, Will notified me to report to the corporate headquarters tomorrow. Logan Harper offered me an executive assistant position in his office. The salary was $8,000 monthly, with $5,000 deducted for debt repayment. I pressed my calculator buttons. Converting this to annual terms, 333. 3 years. Not too bad. Just 33 or 34 lifetimes. That night, I buried myself under blankets and wept bitterly for the lifetimes I'd already lost. The next morning, I briskly reported to Logan's company, beginning my indentured servitude. Our relationship started as strictly professional. I worked for him with trembling diligence while he barked orders with military precision. But within 3 months, 2 spiked drinks ruined everything. When he had Will arrange my new apartment that same night, I obediently submitted my resignation. No matter how tenderly Logan treated me afterward, I could never fully trust his affection. My love for him bred constant insecurity. I adore lace trimmings, but not enough to decorate entire rooms with them. What I truly cherished was Logan's exasperated sighs when indulging my whims. He never denied his feelings. Yet the power imbalance between us always stuck in my throat like fishbone. His casual "I don't like children" comment filled me with dread. What if he stopped loving me because of my pregnancy? This fear became my reason to leave after his accident. The irony? This morally bankrupt man now chases a woman he believes is married. The silver lining, at least I don't worry about him disliking children anymore. The downside, I'm questioning his character entirely. When Logan didn't return home after work, Will claimed he was working late. Oddly, office colleagues reported intermittent sounds resembling boiling kettles. I've always known Logan's carefully constructed facade, the unapproachable ice prince in public, the secret crier in private. He usually waits until I'm asleep to sob into my hair. This public meltdown was unprecedented. Guilt gnawed at me. Had I taken the charade too far? Maybe I'd reveal the truth in a couple days. At 1 a.m., Logan slipped into bed reeking of mint toothpaste. His arms circled my waist as muffled sobs shook his frame. "You still love him, don't you?" he accused wetly. "Just because he knew you first, how could you choose him?" His tears soaked through my nightgown. "Fine. Keep spending my money on him. But you can't love him." A hiccup interrupted his tirade. "And the baby, I'm the only father they'll ever have." Listening to his increasingly absurd sobs, I rolled over and slapped him. Signaling him to keep it down, he was disturbing me. Instead, the guy grabbed my hand and kissed it, sniffling dramatically. "Honey, you smell so good." His tears vanished instantly, replaced by creepy enthusiasm as he nuzzled his damp face against my fingers. I sighed. Maybe I should have let him keep crying. My days at Sunset Bay Estates settled into a blissful routine of maternity relaxation, scrolling thirst traps of shirtless TikTokers and messing with Logan for kicks. Life felt perfect, until curiosity struck. Rummaging through old gifts Logan had given me, I discovered a velvet box containing a solitaire diamond ring. Platinum band. Flawless cut, simple yet exactly my taste. Hands trembling, I slid it onto my left ring finger. Perfect fit. Like it was custom made. Tilting it toward the light, I spotted an engraving along the inner rim. L. H. Loves L. S. L. S. My initials. Lily Stone. I bolted downstairs clutching the box, interrupting Emily as she stirred bone broth in the kitchen. "When did this appear in my gift room?" "Found it under your shoe rack the day you moved out," she said, wiping her hands on an apron. "Figured Mr. Harper meant it for you, so I stored it with your other presents." Heart hammering, I FaceTimed Will. Was Logan planning to propose before the accident? After his confirmation, I dissolved into hysterical laughter through tears. We'd been this close to forever. Will hesitated before adding, "He knew you wanted kids. Even while prepping for that triathlon, he consulted OBGYNs about fertility stuff. You were in every version of his future, before the amnesia." A beat. "When he ordered you to leave the city post-accident, I only made you vacate the estate. Don't doubt his love. Even thinking you're married, he still fell for you all over again." I stared at my reflection in the ring long after hanging up. Joy and guilt twisted my stomach. Logan always tolerated my drama, yet I'd repaid his 99 steps of devotion by refusing to take the last one. Texting him to come home early. I bit my lip. He'd misinterpret this for sure. I waited until I fell asleep, but he never came home. That night, his sobbing woke me again. Sniff, Lily. Did you call me home early because you want to dump me and keep old Will's money? I won't let you go. I felt so safe the moment I saw you at the hospital that day. I want to be with you forever. Please don't leave me. I stroked his tear-stained cheek. I'm not going anywhere. We'll stay together forever. Logan's crying abruptly stopped. He looked up, furiously wiping his face. The next second, he resumed his usual cool demeanor. "No old Will," he declared, though his voice still quivered. "No old Will." I confirmed softly, embracing him. "There's only you." I recounted our history, showing our photo albums. Logan studied me skeptically. "Really?" Cross my heart. Ask Will if you don't believe me. He nodded solemnly. We fell asleep entwined. The next morning, Will called. Logan asked if you were the mistress he used to keep. I said yes. But he's giving me weird looks. What exactly did you tell him last night? I explained everything. What could Logan possibly doubt? The answer came swiftly through Logan's anonymous forum post, Catch-22, should I expose my wife and assistant's conspiracy? Confession first, I am trash. I stole a pregnant woman from her husband. Now she claims she's the mistress from my forgotten post-accident memories. Says the baby's mine. Even faked romantic photos with heart hands I'd never do. Told me to verify with my assistant Will, whose story matches hers. Not actually planning to confront them. How do I convince her I believe the lie? The roasting in comments section was merciless. My guilt from last night evaporated. Truth? Let him keep playing mistress. When Logan returned that evening, I snapped, Old Will always enters with left foot first. Unlike some right-footed people. He stared impassively. Old Will actually smiles. I added pointedly. His forced grin looked painful. See? Old Will's smile lights up the room. Yours looks constipated. The lights snapped off abruptly. The interruption halted my urge to continue the argument. Logan went completely berserk. His teeth sinking into my lips. Don't mention Old Will. You can't mention him. I hate him. Throughout this, I couldn't utter anything beyond muffled whimpers. Logan was genuinely furious, abandoning his usual cool demeanor as he alternated between tears and passion. I felt tears pricking my eyes too, though mine were from sheer bliss. Serves him right for doubting me. The next morning, I dragged Logan to get our marriage license. 5 months later, I gave birth without complications. A year after that, during our child's language learning phase, I overheard Logan whispering, "Sweetheart, I'm your real daddy. If you ever hear gossip, don't believe a word of it." I jabbed him with my elbow indignantly. Good grief, when would he regain his memory? When our child turned 3, I accidentally brought up Old Will, now an Oscar-winning movie star, during a late-night conversation. Logan's jealousy erupted, resulting in an all-night showdown. Come morning, he sat propped against the headboard, staring intently as I drowsily kissed his cheek and grumbled, "Old Will's famous now. What's wrong with watching 2 episodes of his show? You're such a jealous." Logan clamped his hand over my mouth, flushing crimson. I know. Stop talking. Normally, I'd need to reassure him repeatedly, but his flustered demeanor felt different. My eyes snapped open to find him red-faced and tight-lipped. Suddenly, I remembered the phone call from Will earlier, detailing how amnesiac Logan had initially planned to handle our relationship. So that's how it was. I teased, grinning as Logan glared. Rolling over, I wrapped my arms around his waist and chirped, "Mind if I become your baby's daddy?" Recognition flashed in his eyes as I added, "Sound familiar, hubby?" Logan stubbornly turned his head away, studying the ceiling while I playfully bobbed into his line of sight. Gee, I wonder who said that. He puffed up like an angry blowfish as my cackling crescendoed, a whole aviary's worth of parrot screeches. Ha 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 ha. Lily, stop laughing, he growled, tackling me onto the mattress with puppyish ferocity. Outside, sunlight streamed through the windows, golden and relentless. Like Logan's love for me. The end.